What's the problem? The problem is there's a leadership gap. There is not enough diverse and minority leaders in position because there are systems that exist that exclude them. What's the solution? The solution is us becoming the leaders that our community deserves and needs. Here's how we'll do it. There are 3 phases to leadership. The first phase, self-leadership, self-mastery, self-discipline. The second phase, people leadership, being able to go out there and transform others, transform our peers. The last phase, visionary leadership. In this phase, you're able to paint pictures and capture success. Let's talk about how to do it. One voice. When I was playing college football, you'll have a team meeting full of rowdy football players. But when the head coach comes in, he says, one voice. And when the head coach says that, all the other voices silence. That's what you must do in your mind. Have such a thorough control of your mind that when your one voice speaks, you quiet out all the other voices. Voices of self-doubt, voices of apprehension, those type of deals. Have control over you. Self-leadership means self-mastery. I pitched this theory once. In order to be a great master, you must be a great slave. Everybody is good at the masterpiece, being able to call out demands. The special leaders can not only call out demands, but follow them. In order to be a great leader, you must be a great servant, a servant leader. With leadership, you have do's and you have don'ts, what I call friends and foes, that you must be able to identify. Your do's with leadership, that looks like discipline. Your don'ts, that looks like sacrifice. Okay, so with your friends, those are things that benefit your journey to leadership, your journey to success. Your enemies, your don'ts, those are things that hinder your success. Some of our enemies may be excessive TikToking, right? Some of our enemies could be our own friend group. Some of our enemies could be ourselves, right? Understanding our do's and our don'ts, our friends and our foes. A SWOT analysis. Great businesses perform a SWOT analysis at least quarterly. I'm asking for our leaders to do the same. Identifying your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Your strengths, what do you naturally do well? Weaknesses, where are you struggling? Areas of improvement. Opportunities, where can you grow? Where can you lead more, add more value? Threats. Our threats are those enemies that we spoke about. Anything that will hinder us from reaching our full potential. We must identify these things. Your confidence comes from your preparation. The more prepared you are, the more confident you are. That's what we're working on with our leadership. Knowledge eliminates doubt. The more knowledgeable you are on a topic, the less doubt you have on going out there and performing successfully. Knowledge eliminates doubt. That's what we're working towards. Last one here, you got to play your game. You have to play your game. Is it tunk? Is it spades? Is it dominoes? Is it uno? You have to know what you're good at and always play your game. Success in leadership. That's what we're talking about. Confidence. Here we have it again. You must be a harsh master. a harsh master. We talked about the qualities to mastering self, right? To be a good master, you have to be a good servant. What that looks like is defining your non-negotiables, having strict rules as a leader, right? You have two types of leaders. You have disciplined leaders and you have sacrificing leaders. The disciplined leaders, that's the do list. They're going to do everything they need to do to be successful. But on the other side, you have the leaders who go the extra mile, who are willing to sacrifice. Not only do they do the do list, but they never ever touch the don't list. That's what separates you, right? Having strict rules for yourself. Another one here, ego cannot come. Ego has no place in leadership. When we become leaders, we are always making the promise to put others above ourselves. What it also comes with, one of my favorite quotes that I live by, make sure that your circumstances never ever change your standard. You make sure that your standard changes your circumstances. Requirements as leaders, right? Harsh non-negotiables. Strategic thinking. Going from the thinking phase to the planning phase to the execution phase. This step here has saved me tens of thousands of dollars, understanding these principles here. So for a long time, as a leader, I went from the think straight to the execute phase. And you can find success like that. But how to make sure that your success has longevity, make sure that you're creating something that lives forever, you cannot skip your planning phase. That's what we're asking leaders to put some more thought into, the planning phase. Strategic planning ensures success. You make your plans infallible, having no holes, no gaps into your planning. We're talking about this GHOST model here. Another one here for strategic thinking. Understanding this as a leader, sometimes it's not what you know, but who you know, right? And if you're familiar with the Black Leadership Alliance Coalition, you know that we take that a step forward. It doesn't matter who you know, but it matters who knows you. As a leader, we must make sure that we're doing our due diligence to never ever skip our strategic thinking, making sure we're always going in the right direction. Communicate with intention. An amazing example of that right here behind me, President Barack Obama, being able to articulate a vision of hope, a vision of growth for our nation, is the reason why we had our first ever Black president. As leaders, we must communicate well, right? What President Barack Obama did well, he was able to see it, say it, and make them feel it. That's the requirement as leaders. When we get into our visionary leaders, empathy. It is not enough to deliver your message. As a leader, you must understand how people will receive your message. Empathy, a non-negotiable in leadership. A sense of understanding how your message will be received. And lastly, we have deliver with clarity. You leave no room for confusion when you speak. You speak with articulation, you speak clear, and you speak to paint pictures for people. Visionary leadership styles and skills. Next, a requirement that we have here. Make sure that you're always bringing something to the table. Harsh but fair, sad but true. If you do not contribute, you cannot stay. Everyone on the team must be contributing. The leaderships go the extra mile to sacrifice. When you're in the leadership role, contribution, that's the bare minimum. We're talking about self-sacrificing as leaders. Contribution prevents controversy. Make it very clear everyone's role within your team and make sure everyone does it sufficiently, right? Eliminates controversy. Growth requires engagement, not just spectators, making sure everybody has their hands involved. Lastly, know what you bring to the table and always bring it to the table, right? If you're the person in the office that always has the good vibes, make sure you always bring those good vibes. Know what you bring to the table. Understand this, you are the niche. You are the prize. Your job as a leader is to now hone those skills, hone those talents to make sure that you can reach your full potential with your leadership. Embracing growth. As a leader, it's our requirement to always be learning, always be sharpening our skills. Your confidence grows with action. Confidence grows with action. Never be in a position of stagnation as a leader. Never be afraid to fail. If you fail forward. But leaders don't stop. Okay? Understand you are worthy. You are capable. Lastly, how to overcome imposter syndrome. This portion here is very prevalent to our minority leaders, being able to overcome some of those negative self-talks. Here's what we teach. Understand that you're undefeated. Every barrier that you've ever faced, come across, you've overcome. And you'll continue to overcome. You live in that strength, right? You track your wins. You track your wins, not your doubts. That's how you get over this imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome leaves when evidence leads. You track your data, you track your win. That's how you make sure imposter syndrome never shows up at your door. A requirement for quote-unquote minority leaders. We talked about it at the beginning of the presentation. The problem is there are not enough quote-unquote minority leaders. The solution is that we create some. We make sure to do our due diligence to make sure that we're at the top of our industries and performing at the best of our abilities. If you found today helpful, insightful to your leadership journey, at the Black Leadership Alliance Coalition, we would love to meet you. You can meet us there by website. If you go to blacleadership.org, be sure to sign up. We'll see you there.